Look at this!
In Iniesta. Iniesta back to Messi! Oh my goodness. Goal 86.
This was the time when Messi did the unthinkable, breaking a record decades old. The most goals in a calendar year by Gerd Müller of 85 goals. 91 goals in a single year. It's a stat so inflated it looks like someone left the beginner difficulty on in FIFA for 12 months straight. But as we stand here in 2026, the question is screaming, is this unbreakable wall finally starting to crack? Can the new generation of cyborgs actually hunt down the ghost of 2012? To understand the 91, you first have to respect the 85 because for 40 years, Gerd Müller's 1972 was the ultimate final boss of football statistics. Müller wasn't out there doing step-overs or triple nutmegging defenders. He was a human magnet for the ball who turned the penalty box into his own private office. In 1972, Der Bomber was a goal-scoring glitch in the Matrix, netting 85 times for Bayern Munich and West Germany in just 60 games. To put that in perspective, that's a goal every 63 minutes for an entire year, which is the kind of efficiency that makes modern strikers look like they're playing with their boots tied together. Müller's record stood through the era of Cruyff, the rise of Maradona, and the peak of original Ronaldo, becoming a mythical number that felt physically impossible to surpass. It wasn't just a record. It was a testament to a pure predatory instinct that defined a generation of German dominance. For 4 decades, 85 was the ceiling of human capability, a landmark so distant that most strikers didn't even bother looking at the map. It took a literal alien descent in Catalonia to finally move the needle. But we can never forget that Müller set the blueprint for what unstoppable actually looks like. Without the 85 to chase, Messi might never have found the motivation to hit the 91. Then came 2012, the year Lionel Messi decided that physics was merely a suggestion and that goalkeepers were just optional obstacles in his personal highlight reel. Breaking Müller's record wasn't just a feat of skill. It was a 365-day marathon of absolute, unadulterated disrespect toward every defender in La Liga and Europe. Messi finished the year with 91 goals in 69 matches, 79 for Barcelona and 12 for Argentina, averaging a goal every 66 minutes while providing 24 assists just to flex on the rest of the world. It wasn't just the volume. It was the variety. From solo runs that left entire backlines in therapy to free kicks that defied the laws of geometry. 2012 Messi was a false nine experiment that turned into a weapon of mass destruction, operating in a Barcelona system that treated ball retention like a religion. He scored 59 goals in La Liga alone that year, which is more than most entire teams manage in a full season. Watching him that year was like watching a professional gamer go back to the first level of a game just to set a speedrun record. He broke Müller's 85 in December against Betis and then just kept going because he apparently forgot how to stop scoring. It was a statistical anomaly that felt like a once-in-a-millennium event, a perfect storm of talent, system, and peak physical condition. For 14 years, we've looked at the number 91 and thought, yeah, that's staying there until the sun burns out. But in the modern era of 70-game seasons and hyper-optimized athletes, that certainty is starting to feel a little bit shaky. Comparing 1972 to 2012 is like comparing a vintage muscle car to a high-tech electric supercar. In Müller's day, the offside rule was a nightmare for strikers, requiring daylight between the players. And the pitches often looked more like potato patches than professional turf. Defenders were also allowed to essentially commit assault on the pitch without seeing a yellow card, making Müller's 85 goals even more impressive considering he was probably being kicked into the stands every 10 minutes. Fast forward to 2012, and the game had become a tactical chess match played on billiard table grass, with the offside rule favoring the attacker and referees actually protecting the creative players. Messi's role as a false nine allowed him to vanish from defenders and reappear in pockets of space that didn't exist in 1972, backed by a tiki-taka midfield that saw 70% of the ball. However, the sheer density of the modern schedule meant Messi had to maintain that elite level across significantly more high-intensity games than Müller ever faced. Rule changes like the back pass rule also sped up the game by 2012, creating more transitions and more opportunities for a player with Messi's acceleration to exploit tired legs. While Müller was a pure poacher, Messi was the playmaker and the finisher combined. A role change that allowed him to be involved in every single phase of the attack. The evolution of sports science by 2012 meant Messi could recover faster and play more minutes at 100% intensity. A luxury Müller's generation could only dream of while they were icing their ankles with actual ice cubes. Now, look at the gap between 2012 and 2026, because the meta of football has shifted once again, and it's leaning heavily in favor of the record breakers. We are now in the era of the mega schedule, where the expanded Champions League, the 32-team Club World Cup, and bloated international calendars mean elite players are staring down the barrel of 75 to 80 games a year. If you put a peak finisher in a team that creates 5 big chances a game across 80 matches, the math for 91 goals suddenly doesn't look so impossible anymore. The introduction of VAR has also changed the game, arguably leading to more penalties and more clear-cut opportunities that used to be missed by a blink-and-you-miss-it offside call. Wait! Before you continue watching this video, do y'all currently have plans to buy your favorite football jerseys? The FIFA World Cup is just around the corner. Real jerseys are costing more than $200 nowadays. That for just a shirt? What if I say you can now get it for just $15 with no compromise in quality? Go to Coco101.com. They have the latest jerseys and the oldest ones too. Plus, it's just $15. Order your jerseys before the World Cup starts. If you think it's a scam or something, look at this Scam Advisor report. Check out the link in the description. Back to the video. Sports science has reached a level where players are treated like Formula One cars, with every calorie and every second of sleep monitored to ensure they stay in the green zone for longer. In 2012, Messi was a freak of nature. In 2026, we have a handful of players who are built like Olympic sprinters with the finishing touch of a surgeon. The high-press systems of today create more turnovers in the final third, leading to high-volume scoring chances that didn't exist when teams were sitting deep in 2012. We are also seeing a wider gap between the elite clubs and the rest of the leagues, meaning the top strikers are feasting on lower-tier defenses with more regularity. If 2012 was about the perfection of a system, 2026 is about the perfection of the athlete, and that physical edge is what makes 91 look vulnerable. The sheer quantity of games is the biggest factor. Messi hit 91 in 69 games, but if a modern striker plays 80, they only need to average 1.15 goals per game to match him. That's still insane, but for the elite, it's no longer alien territory. So, who is the predator capable of actually hunting down this 91-goal ghost? If you're looking for a name, you have to start with the obvious cyborg, Erling Haaland. In a 2026 calendar year where Manchester City is competing in every possible final in the Club World Cup, Haaland could easily play 70-plus games. If he stays injury-free, his goal-per-game ratio already flirts with the 1.0 mark. Then you have Kylian Mbappé, who at Real Madrid is basically playing with a creative mode midfield behind him, capable of generating chances every time he breathes. But keep an eye on the dark horse, Lamine Yamal. While he's more of a playmaker, his trajectory at Barcelona mirrors Messi's so closely that if he develops that killer finishing instinct by late 2026, he could be the one. My prediction? The record falls in 2027. With the new 48-team World Cup cycle and the expanded European formats, Haaland is going to have a perfect year where everything clicks. The penalties keep coming, and he smashes 93 or 94 goals just to end the debate. The volume of games is simply becoming too high for these records to stay safe. It's a war of attrition, and the modern athlete is winning. It's not a matter of if anymore. It's a matter of when a team decides to funnel every single attack into one player for 80 games straight. In conclusion, Messi's 91 was a moment of pure magic that we thought would last forever, but football never sits still. The combination of hyperinflated schedules, VAR precision, and the rise of physical freaks has turned a 14-year-old dream into a 2026 target. Messi broke Müller's 85 because he was the best to ever do it. But the next record breaker will likely do it because the game has been engineered to produce goals at a higher rate than ever before. 91 is a scary number, but in a world where Haaland can score 5 in a single Champions League game, Nothing is truly unbreakable. The clock is ticking on the 2012 legend, and the next king is already warming up on the sidelines. Please do subscribe as it will really support me. Please! It's free and just takes 1 second.